Hey guys, this is just a quick update. I've been having these long conversations with this guy named Blot, also known as a guy on YouTube named Rorschach Redemption. He and I have been talking for hours on end on Skype, and he's really giving me some sound advice because he once had the book. He once had the book himself, and I now know what to do. I just need to read them all, and then I lose the book. Then the book goes away, and he's still alive, so that's good. Hooray for that. So I've decided to read you all the keys and hope this thing goes away. We're already at number 11. The church house. There is a house on Bow Crescent, near Bow Cycle, which was once a small church. A few years ago a man bought it and began extensive renovations that included an extension on the back, moving the door so that it sat in the centre, and completely redoing the interior to remove any signs of its previous usage. During his process, the owner discovered that the house had a set of 16 plaques depicting the stations of the cross, hiding behind the wallpaper. Now this is a problem, because there are only 14 stations. The owner removed them and placed them in the then unfurnished home's basement. They remain there to this day. Although the owner passed away earlier this year, if you wish to find these stations, arrange a viewing of the house with a real estate agent, who the family of the previous owner had tasked with selling it. He will lie extensively about the house and its pedigree. He will then deny the existence of the stations in the basement. Now, wait until he has left you alone in the house's main room and sneak into the basement. When you find the 14 wooden plaques, you have until he comes down to find you to place them in the correct order, substituting the 2 additional plaques into the story of the crucifixion. If you arrange them correctly, you will feel a wave of warmth cross over you, and your death will be followed by an earthly resurrection as a reward for your pilgrimage. Wow, that is the best key I've read so far. Okay, number 12. The green room. We've already had the yellow room. I wonder if there's a room for every colour. Anywho, number 12. The green room. There is an apartment building on 16th Street that is slightly wider on the outside than it is within. Go to this building in the fall and ascend the staircase. You should find the door to the roof totally unlocked. If it's locked, leave immediately. That means someone is using the green room, and they likely don't want company. Now, if the door opens, however, walk along the roof and count skylights. Eventually you should find one that doesn't look into an apartment or hallway. Instead it looks down into a dingy room with green metal walls. Break that skylight with a piece of debris you find somewhere and jump down. The room should be small and empty, other than a metal desk and a chair that have a distinctly institutional flavour. On the desk you will find a folder full of papers. Take the folder rather than reading the papers on the spot. Breaking the skylight will have set off the alarm. Open the room's only door and step out. You will find yourself in your old high school, having just stepped out of the locker room. Leave. The folder contains documents and photos that describe in great detail your physical and mental health. They depict you as a patient of an institution, and well, they're not far off. 13. The Water of Life. Throughout the city, there are little fenced-off buildings with the logo of the city's wastewater department on metal signs in front of them or on the door. The buildings are identified by the signs as being anything from water testing buildings to pumping substations, and by and large that is what they are. However, About half a dozen of these buildings actually contain something else. 4 of these buildings are part of the city's actual water treatment system. They contain pumps that push the city's water through thin grills made out of human bone. The calcium from these bone filters is why Calgary's water is often so hard. The filters clean the water not only of contaminants, but of the city's collective sin for its involvement in the oil industry. The other 2 are shacks that contain taps. One of these buildings is where the filters are installed when they're full. The water from the tap passes through all of the filters and emerges brackish and foul. Drinking it, however, is the only way to permanently purify the city's soul. The other building contains a tap that dispenses water so pure that any scars, mutations, cancers or birth defects will immediately vanish. I've got number 14 here that says the keyboard, but there is nothing here. On to the next one, I guess. Oh, where's 15? 15 doesn't exist either. It goes immediately on to 16. This one's really weird. The style of this entry is much more informal, like it was written for someone in particular, like a note, but it's on the pages of the book. It's called The Bridal Shop. So you're getting married. Fuck, I know you can call it hand fastening, but that's bullshit. It's a wedding, even if you're not wearing white. Matt says you could try this place on 4th Southwest. The selection is shit and the staff is snotty, but they get all sorts of imported shit there. Real weird Asian juju. And we all know that that's more important than how you look in some photos you're never going to look again in your life, right? The secret is smell. Smell is really the key for this kind of thing. If you haven't learned it already, you'll learn it soon. Smell tells you what kind of shit has been worked over on what you're about to wear. Avoid anything herbal. I know you dykes are wild about herbs and poultices and spices and all that shaz, but that's just window dressing. No real powerful stuff is unrefined like that, especially the Asian imports. What you have in that scenario is some factory worker who's trying to pull a fast one by rubbing the thread with ginseng or something. If I were you, I'd pick something that smells like fish. Fish means Dagon, god of agriculture, which means prosperity for the Canaanites, and the happiness for the Buddhists and stuff. Sure, it stinks, but I've smelled that vegan shit you people eat. You have no room to complain. Alright. So, you should buy something that smells like fish, I guess. Okay, that's about all I can do today. More later, I guess. I hope.